Okay, so this is PT49, game two. It says there are exactly 5 pieces of mail in the mailbox. 5 mail things. You have a flyer, a letter, a magazine, a postcard, and a survey. Each piece of mail is addressed to exactly one of 3 housemates. So now you have 3 housemates, G, J, and R. Each housemate has at least one piece of mail addressed to her. So you have each of them getting a minimum of 1 mail. Not me. Mail per housemate. And then the following conditions must apply. Neither the letter nor the magazine is addressed to G. So if we're talking about G, it's not L and it's not M. If L is addressed to R, then the postcard is addressed to J. So if L is going to R, then the postcard is going to J. And the housemate to whom the flyer is addressed has at least one of the other pieces of mail addressed to her as well. So if you get the flyer, that means there's a minimum of one other mail that you get as well. So there's different ways to diagram this, but I really like the way that the first question has set it up. So the way I would set up my diagram is I'd have G, J, R, and then I just write across which mail they're getting assigned. So I'm not going to touch this. And then again, these are simple enough that I can just compare my rules to my answer choices. So the first thing I check is that G doesn't have L or M. So A looks fine, B looks fine, C is out because G has M assigned to it, D looks fine, and E looks fine. The next thing I check is to see what happens when the letter is addressed to R. I want to make sure if the letter is addressed to R, then the postcard is addressed to J. So I'm going to skip over A for now because I don't have that sufficient condition. I'm going to skip over B. I need to take a look at D because L is addressed to R, but the postcard is also addressed to R, so I know that can't be right. And then it looks like E is fine. And then I look at their last rule. If someone has F, then they have a minimum of one other male. So A looks fine, B looks fine, and E is not fine because R has F but no other male. Now I have to decide between A and B. And the only difference between A and B is that A never assigns a postcard. So I can take A out, and B is my right answer. And I'm really going to quickly going to write that down just in case that combination becomes useful to me in the future. And I want to have a really easy, quick way to look at it. 9 says, which one of the following is a complete and accurate list of the pieces of mail, any one of which could be the only piece of mail addressed to Jana? So this question you can get it wrong if you don't read it carefully. So basically, we want to see which pieces of mail can be assigned to her alone. So I just start out by checking the first combination. Or let's see. So 3 of them have a postcard, 2 of them have a letter, 2 of them have a survey, and 2 have a magazine. So I'm going to check to see if I can put a postcard in there alone because it's the thing that shows up most often. And I want to see if I can cross that out. So if I put the postcard there, let's put the letter here and the magazine here because J can't have L and M. So I'm sorry, G can't have L and M. So if G can't have L and M and J for this particular question can't have L and M because we want P to be the only thing in there, that means I have to plug in L and M into R. The only things I have left are F and S, and I'm going to put that in G because we want to make sure that if G has F, she has at least one other thing in there. So if I put P into J's spot, and that's the only thing that J's assigned, it works out perfectly fine. So I know that P can be one of the possible things that J can be assigned alone. So I can cross out C and D because it doesn't assign postcards in those answer choices. The next thing I'm going to check, A has postcard, B has letter and postcard, and E has letter, magazine, and postcard. So I'm going to plug in L over here and see what happens when I put that in there. So if I were to plug in L, I'm going to put in M over here because I know that M can't go with G. I'll put F over here, S over here, and P over here. And this is fine. This doesn't break any of my rules. Everything is assigned. G doesn't have L or M. I don't have to worry about the second rule because that sufficient condition isn't being activated. And then it follows my third rule. So it's possible that the letter could be one of the ones that's assigned alone to Jana. So I can cross that A because it doesn't include the letter. Now I just have to check if I can plug in M in here and if it'll be okay. So if I plug in M in there, then I have to put L in here. But here's the problem. If I put an L in there, now we're activating that sufficient condition where if I put L with R, then I have to put in P over here. But this doesn't work out because we're looking for an answer choice where if I were to plug in the answer choice, it's the only thing that has to be in there. But if I were to put M and J, I'd have to also put P and J for this situation. So I can't have M there, which means B is my right answer. Number 10 says, which one of the following cannot be a complete and accurate list of the pieces of mail addressed to Jana? So now what they're asking us is to plug in all of these answer choices into J and see which one breaks the combination or breaks the diagram. So let me make more space between these. For answer choice A, it says F, L, and M go over here. And then now I have to choose where I put S and P, and it doesn't really matter. So I can put S there and P over here, and my diagram works out fine. And this isn't my answer choice because I'm looking for the thing that can't be true. B, F, L, P, and then now I'm stuck choosing between S and M. M can't go with G, so I'm going to put S over here, M over here. And this diagram works out fine, so I know B can't be my answer either. Then I check C, F, L, S. I'm stuck between M and P. M can't go with G, so M is going to go over here, and P is going to go over here. And this doesn't break any of my rules, so C is fine. Then I check D, F, M, P, and I have L and S left. L can't go with G, so L will go over here, and S over here. And this is fine. It doesn't break any of my rules. So it has to be E. And let's see why that happens. If I put in F, M, and S, I'm stuck between P and L, going between G and R. I'd have to put L and R because L can't go with G. But if I do that, I'd have to put P in here, and there's absolutely nothing for G, which breaks my rule that every single one of them has to have at least one piece of mail. So this is my right answer because it can't be true. 11 says, which one of the following can't be a complete and accurate list of pieces of mail addressed to R? So I'm just trying to find the things that can be addressed to R. So same thing as number 10. I just plug it in and see which one breaks my diagram. So A, I put the magazine and postcard here, which means I have the letters F, L, and S left. I can't put L into G, so I'll put L over here. And it doesn't really matter. Well, it does. Where F goes. If I put F into G, then S can also go there, and it's perfectly fine. So this isn't my answer. Then I check B. If I put L and S here, I have F, M, and P left over. Oh, I plugged into the wrong person. I'd have to put L and S over here. I'm so sorry. L and S to R. And then I still have F, M, and P left over. So I see where I plug that in. So if L goes to R, I know that P has to go to Jana. And then I have F and M left. I can't plug in M into G because G can't have M. So I'd plug in M over here and F over here. But the problem now is that it breaks my third rule. If G has F assigned, G also has to have at least one other piece of mail assigned to her. But this diagram doesn't make that possible. So I know that B is my answer because it's the one thing that can't be true. And then 12, if the magazine and survey are both assigned to the same housemate, then which one of the following could be true? Okay, so there are two possible combinations here. I know that M can only be assigned to J or to R because M can never be assigned to G. And we're saying the survey and the magazine are assigned to the same housemate. So my two possible ideas are, okay, J and R are the people with M or S. So those are my two possible ideas. And then I have to see what else can follow. A, the survey is addressed to G, but we know that can't be possible because if that happened, we'd also have to assign M to G, and that's not possible. The postcard is addressed to R. So let's see what happens if I put in the postcard over here. Then I'd plug in L over here and then F over here, but that breaks my diagram. I need G to have something else if she's assigned to F, but it can't be L because L can't go with G. And we already know that P is put into R spot this time. So I know that B is not my answer choice either. Okay, then I go to C. The magazine is addressed to Jana. So I go off of this diagram over here. And if the magazine is there, then where would L go? Well, L can't go with G, so L would have to go over here. And if L goes there, then I'd have to put P over here and then F over here. But I have the same problem where G is assigned F, but nothing else. And I know that you have to have something else if you're assigned F. So C isn't right either. So if the magazine can't be addressed to Jana, then I can ignore this diagram over here and focus simply on this. D says the letter is addressed to R. So if I were to plug in L over here, I'd have to put P over here, which would leave me with F over here. But again, I have the same issue where I'm assigning F to one person, but I'm not assigning anything else to that person, which breaks my rule. So that's not possible, which means D isn't my answer either, which leaves me with E. The flyer is addressed to Jana. So if I put the flyer here, the letters I have left are L and P. I can't put L with G, so I'm going to put L over here, and I'm going to put P over here, which doesn't break any of my rules. So for the purpose of this, I have M and S together with R. I have P assigned to G, which is totally fine. That can be possible. And then I have F assigned to J, and also something else assigned to J, which fulfills my last rule. So my answer choice is E.